Today's video is brought to you by my bad ideas. Actually, I'm just kidding. It's brought to you by Simply Safe. Or maybe a little both. Here we are, back at it again with another installment of Too Stupid to Quit with your boy Matt Ryce. As you guys know, we lifted the head on the old Spray It to the Moon 5.3. There's a number of reasons that could have happened. It could have been my doing, could have been my tuning, could have been my assembly. It could have been that maybe the surfaces were never super flat to begin with. There's a lot of things that could have happened, but we don't have the actual answer. It's hard to say what exactly it was. Instead of wasting all of our time being sad and trying to figure it out and getting nowhere with it, it's time to just do what any good racer is supposed to do: rebuild. I disassembled everything. I went to the store and got some stuff just to make, you know, assembly and everything a little bit easier, some different prep stuff. I'm sure everybody would be glad to see this. Not only that, I just talked to a buddy of mine today who is going to machine out a nice piece for me at a flat bar, so that way I could have a true flat edge to check with, because you never really know with, you know, levels and different things you use around the garage, you never really know what it's going to be. I wanted to check out the heads and the block on this motor, but then my buddies at LucoreRacing hit me up and said, hey, we've got another 5.3 here, old piece of crap special. Maybe we should start with this. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna go ahead and tear this thing down and inspect it. Before we go ahead and go into pulling this motor out and taking the good parts out of it and swapping it over and doing all that kind of stuff, let's get this thing fully torn down so we can inspect it and see what we're working with. They didn't have any information about the motor, how many miles, all this, that, and the other, and it looks pretty crusty. It's it's a junkyard special for sure. Most of this stuff is going to end up coming off of here and we're not going to need it. Cool to have an extra alternator, always good to have one hanging around. It's also good to just always have extra parts. Hopefully we can see if this engine is going to be a little bit better and more suited for our needs. We're also going to do a couple things a little differently than we did last time. I talked to an engine builder buddy of mine and he gave me some advice on some different things that we can do. I'm going to show you guys that along the way. Generally, we're going to just try to take a little bit more care in assembly. I am used to throwing these things together relatively quickly, easily, and they work. And this one kind of bit me in the ass. Now, it could just be because it wasn't very good to start with, or it could be something I did. Either way, we're going to do a little bit more on this, and we're going to take a couple more steps and precautions to try to get us a better chance of surviving a Spray It to the Moon situation. I'm not going to waste any more time. I've got a lot of work to do I've got a little bit of time to do a lot of work. Whatever it was that Willy Wonka said, yeah, that. First things first, we're going to thank today's video sponsor, and then we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Let's take a quick moment to thank today's video sponsor. I wanted to thank Simply Safe for sponsoring not only this awesome junkyard engine, but today's video as well. It was important for me to get a home security system that I felt really good about. We spend a lot of time racing, traveling, doing different things that takes us away from home, and it's important for me to know that while I'm away, or even while I'm here, everything in my home is protected. Between all of the products that Simply Safe offers, the cameras, the motion detectors, the glass break sensors, the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, I know exactly what's going on in this house, whether I'm here or not. Everything is wireless. I didn't take a bunch of time to run wires and have to hook up power. It made it really simple to just put everything up, open the app, connect it all, and be up and running in the amount of time it took me to hang the sensors. The Simply Safe system has given me peace of mind to know that when I'm out on the road, we know that our home is not only secure, but protected by the Simply Safe monitoring system. One of the favorite features of the Simply Safe system is obviously the cameras. Everybody loves to have the cameras and know what's going on at their property at all times. But the one that I'm really excited about is the smoke detector. I was previously a firefighter, and I know just how troublesome it could be to have a fire in the middle of the night while everyone's sleeping. Having Simply Safe constantly monitoring the fire detector as well as the rest of the home security, I think is a big advantage for the entire system. There's multiple products and you can get as crazy or as simple as you want. If you just want a couple cameras, a keypad, like a regular home security system, you've got it. If you want to expand to the smoke detector, the carbon monoxide detector, the motion detectors, glass break detector, you can do it as well. With their professional monitoring service, they can dispatch fire or police at any sign that something's wrong. For less than $1 a day, I think it's a no-brainer. You guys can save 20% on your order, and your first month is free when you sign up for active monitoring. Visit simplysafe.com/DNR Auto to learn more. The first thing I'm gonna do on this bad boy here is check out the oil. If this block is full of water, we're not gonna be using it. Oh boy, this one's got no oil in it, which means that it's already been drained. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. I guess that means we're just gonna have to tear into it to find out. Alright, well, we've got this somewhat torn down. Most of the junk on there that we're not going to need anyway. Still got to get them motor mounts off. We're definitely not going to be using those. But now we're at the point where we can get our first look at what the inside of this grimy engine looks like. And wow. Wow. You know, they say the old rusty, the grimiest ones usually work the best. I don't know, this one here looks, I mean, in terms of cleanliness, that thing's pretty clean. Obviously not out here, but let's see, that one's jammed up a little bit. Alright, so that one looks a little worse. It's weird, it's the last engine I pulled apart was the same way, where the The driver's side rockers were all like dark, and you know, it looks like they've been in there 1.5 million miles, and the passenger side does not. Good news is now that we've got another set of rockers that really look to be pretty brand new in pretty good shape, we can combine out of the old engine the best 16 rockers out of the whole thing. I'm not really even still in here, it looks pretty clean. It's not hold on, let's see if we can shed some light on the situation. I don't think, yeah, I don't see any issues here right now. That, you know, it just looks like a high mileage engine, which will be pretty good. And that's just my bolts falling all over the floor, no big deal. So let's take this a little bit further in the teardown, and then we can start talking about some of the stuff we're gonna do. You guys saw that some of these header bolts, number one, were already broken, and then some I broke off just trying to get them out. That's going to make for a fun adventure. Have to take it over to the shop. We'll have to weld it, do all that, you know, fun stuff to get it out, to get those studs out of the head. This one's really bad. This one, 1, 2, 3. Here's 1, 2, and I don't know, there's probably a third one in back there. Usually the back ones break off, and that's normal. But so far, I have hope for this. This looks pretty good. It's incredibly crusty, rusty on the outside, but inside so far looking pretty good. Let's go ahead, I'll time lapse getting off, you know, some of these motor mounts, then we'll take the heads off and we'll start looking at cylinders and see what we've got to really work with inside. All right, now we're to the important bits. We have got some asshole driving by with a loud exhaust. It's probably a slow ass car, but we've got the heads off, and let me tell you, sorry, I'm trying to use this for light. I am really pleasantly surprised. These cylinder bores look really good. I've got this sneaking suspicion, I don't know, there's some, I feel like there's some crosshatch marks. Like, where was a good one I found? I don't know, but I've had this sneaking suspicion that this motor here is actually gonna be pretty good. One of the things that I notice is, if you look at this section right here of the head gasket, that looks like it's been redone before. Now, this is the side that had all the brand new stuff on it. So let's go ahead and pop, well, let's try to pop this multi-layer steel head gasket off. Factory stuff here. This is what we had on before. But, look at that. That deck surface looks like it's been touched before. I think somebody's been in this one. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's kind of hard to tell, because does that mean that it was fixed? Or, I don't know. Something was wrong and it was fixed and now it's good to go? Or is there still going to be problems? I mean, I guess it's better than never been touched before. Somebody's been in it and taken some care to it. What that tells me is that this probably should be a relatively flat surface. Let me see here. Oh, this thing's looking pretty good so far. It looks pretty damn good. This is a pleasant surprise. It's something about these old crusty ones. Look at how crusty this thing is. Something about these old crusty ones. I think it's time to tear into this thing a little bit further. Maybe I will spend some time cleaning it up so we can get a good look at the deck surface itself without all the gasket material on it. So one of the things that we may or may not have messed up on on the other build, I was talking to an engine builder buddy of mine. He said, hey, he said, man, that surface has got to be really, really super clean. Like, if you think it's clean, clean it again. He said that's what's going to be the best chance for your MLS gasket to work. Now, I don't know just yet that this is going to be the one that's going back together, but I can tell you I've done a slight little bit of cleaning, and you can see where gasket material is still left here. I'm going to take some time with my little homemade decking tool here. The key here is we just want to clean it and make sure it's nice and clean. I'm not trying to sand to get into it or to, you know, take any material out. I'm just trying to get all the dirt and crud and everything and make it the most level surface as possible. I think that, as well as some other stuff we're going to do, is going to help our chances for success on this one. Now, you can see it still needs to be cleaned up some more, so I'm going to take some time and clean this bad boy up, and then I will show you guys what I think close to what a finished product could look like. Don't worry, I'm going to be doing this, but I'm still going to be taking all this stuff apart anyway and cleaning the rest of it out. The name of the game here is going to be clean, so let's get back to work and get some strokes in, see if we can't make it beautiful. Without tearing up your sandpaper too. Yep, I'm not going to be able to use that motion. It's going to have to be straight. I'm waiting on an answer from my buddy here, because this thing is cleaning up really nice, but I don't know. I'm going to try to get it on camera so you guys can see it well. I can't tell if you guys can see how grooved it is on the head. Like, somebody's definitely been in here before. So what I'm going to do is ask somebody a little bit smarter than me. Fortunately, I've got a couple of friends like that, a little bit smarter than me, and see, is this okay to run it like this? Now, there's still a little bit of cleaning left to do. I really want to focus on getting a nice clean surface. For now, I think this side we're going to be done with, just because I want to go ahead and do the other side. I want to take apart the bottom end, look at some stuff. But there was one thing that jumped out at me, and I really wanted to show you guys. I took this valley cover off, and minus the gunk from taking that knock sensor out there in the back, this thing is spotless inside. There's, you know, I just wiped here, obviously some oil buildup and stuff, but nothing in here. Completely spotless. It looks very good. The only things that I see inside this motor are stuff that when I was disassembling it, you know, maybe some of that crud and stuff fell in there. But I'm thinking this thing is really something pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and wait to get an answer back on this. So before I start, go ahead and, you know, work on the other side and get that one to kind of match. I'm going to start working on pulling this timing cover off, getting the cam out, get the oil pan off. We'll take a look at what underneath looks like and see if there's more
what I would consider pleasant surprises. I think this has been pretty pleasantly surprising so far.
A little pro tip for you. I've heard a couple guys talk about they've broken these tools before, right? Well, part of the issue, I believe, might be, is if you use power tools. Use hand tools, you're not going to jack up the thread. It's going to come off. Everything will work out. I know the theory, or the thought process, power tools, let's get it done. But on tools like that, I do it with the valve spring compressor too. Just use hand tools. It'll make life a lot easier, and the tool will last a lot longer.
Oh man, we really got ourselves a winner. I mean, look at this thing. Yes, there's oil and there's a little bit of crud in there, but compared to stuff I've seen dealing with these junkyard motors, this thing is super clean. Super clean. I mean, the outside is crusty as all, but the inside is really, really beautiful. This thing here might actually work out pretty well. I think the more and more I dive into this, I'm not sure that I'm going to paint the block, because I just, I don't really care about what the block looks like on the outside. But I may take the time to go ahead and clean up all the surfaces, that have a gasket. I might do extra special care and really kind of take my time with this one, because this one here is something else, man. Let me flip this thing over, because I know some water is going to pour out, so I want to try and catch that. So let me catch the water, flip this thing over, and we'll take a look at the bottom end. Well, in case we needed any more proof that somebody's been in here, this thing has been probably completely gone through, because they've got marks on the caps. There's paint marker on the sides here. That's not stuff that I've ever seen in factory setups. Factory bolts, those I do see, so it's possible they just bought factory regular replacement bolts. I would venture to say that, judging by paint marker on this stuff and whatnot, and the X's, somebody's gone through it. It's probably had new bearings. I would feel pretty confident in that. That is awesome. That is fantastic. I'm super happy to hear that. I really think that this motor is shaping up to be a stout little motor. Well, while we were here, I had to know. I had to do it. I did clean this off, I'm not going to lie. But I pulled one of the caps here, and man, these bearings look sweet. They definitely appear to be older, and used. They've got some of the buildup on there, but man, this thing is really checking out nice. It shows signs that it's been gone through before, as you can see. Nobody, they don't use those markers from the factory. I've never seen that before on one of these. I think it's time to sit down and evaluate the game plan, where we're going to go from here. I think it's becoming pretty obvious here that we have got ourselves a winner. They're right, the old crusty ones, man, let me tell you. I'm not quite sure what has been done inside this motor, or this engine, motor, whatever you want to call it. Same shit, people are going to bitch. But I think we're at the point now where I've come to the conclusion that it is time to go ahead and start working on getting this thing and that thing swapped out. This motor looks very promising, and I think that it has the potential to really do what we need it to do. This is going to be a lot of work, and I'm trying to figure out just how I'm going to make sense of it all and do it all. I think that's going to be it for today's video, because I need to clean up this mess. Obviously, I've made a mess while I've been working out here. It happens. But I need to go ahead, clean up the mess, and get a little bit better organized. It's time to start pulling the good parts out of the motor and the car and put those good parts into this motor. Definitely want to do some cleaning up. Like I said, I'm going to take some time and really make sure all the mating surfaces are very clean. I'm going to show you guys what we do with the MLS gaskets, all that kind of stuff. But I think right now I need some time to work. I need to
put the cameras down for a few hours and really get after it. I'm going to probably set up a GoPro, do some time-lapse stuff. You'll see it in the next video. Don't worry. I talk about it all the time. I cannot physically put everything that's in these videos, or everything that happens, I can't physically put it in the videos, or it would be 26-hour long videos. That just wouldn't work out for us. I think we're at a very solid starting point, much better than the last one. With that being said, I want to take some good care of it and really see if we can make it last. I've got a couple ideas of what I want to do and how I want to go about it. Obviously, we're going to start with less nitrous than we did last time. We're going to put it together a little bit better. I'm not sure about the head bolts or the head studs I have. It's possible that I may have stretched them. It's possible that the surface just didn't start out as good as this one. I still got to go over the heads. Those check out pretty well. But there's going to be a lot of work with cleaning, disassembling old stuff, adding it to this, all that kind of good stuff. Whew. It's going to make for a long next few days, but I promise we're going to get some more videos out, and this thing will be running before we know it. A lot of folks in the comments have been super supportive, and I really greatly appreciate that. It means a lot to me. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie. Even when you're doing something, I'm gonna just throw this motor together for fun, and it lifts ahead on the first pass, you're like, oh, I did all this work for what? And now staring at it again, I've got to do it all over again. The support of you guys really helps. I truly and deeply appreciate that. There's a lot of people that just are upset about it all, but I can tell you, if there's one thing that I know, it's that I'm probably a little too stupid to quit, so don't expect that to happen anytime soon. I'm gonna get back to work on this thing. I'm gonna work on getting these videos out, and we're gonna get back to racing. Oh, and for the 6,700,334th time, the big block's waiting on parts. Don't worry, we've got a professional engine builder on the job making it happen. Big block will return, just not quite yet. I've got some races coming up. I've got a race in Pennsylvania in the next 3 weeks. I've got my first SHITBOX race, April 15th and 16th. I really need to have this backup plan together just in case Big Block does not meet our time goal for what we need to get back into it. It's going to suck because obviously we're not going to make as much power and we can't do as much with it, but it could be worse. We could be sitting on the couch watching other people's videos, yelling at them about how stupid they are and how terrible they are at racing, but never actually racing ourselves. I think that would be much worse. Let's get to it. Let's get to work. I'll catch up with you guys next time. And don't forget, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Simply Safe for sponsoring this video. Check out simplysafe.com/DNR Auto. They're going to give you the savings, 20% off, first month free when you sign up for the active monitoring. I never thought I'd be in a point, I'm not going to lie to you guys, where I would be getting sponsored ads in the videos, but here we are. And there's one thing that I can tell you, that's only going to help our situation. It's only going to help us get racing, get faster, get projects done, everything. It's going to be a tremendous help. So I'm really thankful for companies like that that are willing to reach out and do a little work with me and try to get some things done, so that way we can keep moving forward in our racing progression. Till next time, guys, I'm out.